Ailing yoa yola medo and what would call the yon
Hi, it's Michael from Culture Talk and Tours, and I'm here today in Taipei City for a special event you can see behind me. It's the Nuclear Victims Remembrance Day here in Taipei City, being hosted by the Embassy of the Marshall Islands. I don't know a lot about this event, so we're going to see, and there's also a short film and some photos afterwards. Let's go have a look.
Treasurer for the Marshallese Student Association, and I am a proud daughter of the Marshall Islands from the Laid clan. I am a junior studying here in Samkan University's International Business Department, and I will be your MC for today's ceremony. It gives me great pleasure to wish everyone Yawet, Huan Ying, and warmest Pacific greetings on this beautiful day. Before we begin, it is my distinct honor to acknowledge the presence of our distinguished guests. Today's co-host, Ambassador of the Republic of the Marshall Islands, Her Excellency Angela Kattil. Her Excellency Andrea Bowman, Ambassador of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Deans of the Diplomatic Corps. His Excellency, Promise Misby, Ambassador of the Kingdom of Eswatini. His Excellency Biginbu Painu, Ambassador of Tuvalu and Madam Painu. His Excellency Danya Francis, Ambassador of St. Kitts and Nevis. His Excellency Oscar Padilla Lam, Ambassador of the Republic of Guatemala. The Reverend Monsignor Stefano Mozzati charged the affairs of the Holy See. Honorable Adel F. El Taidi, Representative of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabian Office. His Excellency Bruce Linghu, former Ambassador of the Republic of China Taiwan to the Marshall Islands and advisor of the RMI Embassy. Mr. Edward Sung, Counselor on Home Assignment, Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Mr. Ru Ying Wang, Representative from the Council of Indigenous Peoples. Mr. Alex Lay, Executive Director of Hawaii's Taipei Office. Thank you all for being here today. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, for Marshallese people the world over, Nuclear Victim Remembrance Day, observed every year on the 1st of March, is a solemn day of remembrance. March 1st marks the anniversary of Castle Bravo shot, the largest nuclear weapon ever detonated by the United States on Bikini Atoll in the Marshall Islands. With the power of 15 million tons of TNT and 1,000 times stronger of the bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, our people never imagined just how drastically it would alter the very fabric of Marshallese society, culture, and even our DNA. We are gathered here today to honor the victims and survivors of nuclear testings that wreaked havoc on our shores. The impact of the Bravo shot and the 66 other bombs detonated in our islands between 1946 and 1958 left scars on our ancestral lands and a dark legacy of displacement, exploitation, and disease across the Marshall Islands. As descendants and future leaders of the Marshall Islands, it is our duty to never forget the sacrifices made and to be outspoken advocates for denuclearization. Over the course of today's program, we will dive into the untold history of our country's nuclear legacy in the form of film, photography, and song performances. To open today's program, may I call upon my fellow Marshallese to come up for the national anthem of the Republic of the Marshall Islands. At this time, before we go down today's program, may I kindly invite excellencies, ambassadors, representatives onto the stage for a group photo.
And Saudi's not here yet. Saudi's not here yet.
unforeseen circumstances, there is a slight change to the program. To deliver the welcoming remarks, if I may call upon Mr. Dexter Johnny, President of the Marshallese Student Association, to deliver today's welcoming remarks on behalf of the Marshallese students.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, and members of the Marshallese Student Association. My name is Dexter Johnny, and my family hails from the beautiful island of Ebon and belongs to the Ribbit clan. I'm currently a sophomore student studying civil engineering at the National Taiwan University of Science and Technology. As president of the Republic of the Marshall Islands Student Association, it is my distinct privilege to welcome you all here to our 36th Nuclear Victims Remembrance Day, today being the first commemoration to be held in Taiwan. We are gathered not only to remember, but to honor the lives lost and the enduring resilience of those affected by nuclear testing. We extend a heartfelt welcome to each and every one of you as we join together in today's solidarity and remembrance. We are very honored to have so many important guests here today. As proud Marshallese people and future leaders, promoting our beloved country is one of our association's main objectives. We are committed to shedding light on our country's nuclear legacy, an untold legacy that one can find in history books to this day. We strive to amplify the voices of those affected by nuclear testing and to ensure that their stories are never forgotten. The tragic legacy of nuclear testing in our beloved islands is a shared concern that transcends the borders and resonates deeply with communities around the world. By hosting such an event in Taiwan, a valued diplomatic ally, we have a unique opportunity to raise awareness and foster understanding about the experiences, resilience, and cultural heritage of our Marshallese community. We would also like to give a special acknowledgement to Dr. Chien Wu Ye, Dean of International and Cross-Strait Affairs here at Tongkang University, and the university itself for their support and hospitality in allowing to host this year's event here in this beautiful venue. The students worked tirelessly to put together today's nuclear exhibition, for which I respectfully invite you to visit. It is our hope that this event will provide everyone who comes through this hall today to not just connect with our tight-knit student association, but to further learn about what this legacy means to us. We, as sons and daughters of the Marshall Islands, are bonded by this nuclear legacy, and it is only together that we can strive to prevent any further devastation and pain caused by these nuclear weapons. It is only together that we can ensure that no individual or community will ever endure the same atrocities our ancestors faced for the good of all mankind. It is only together that we could build a nuclear-free world, starting in our big blue Pacific. Komodada.
Kumultada Dexter, for your remarks. We thank you for your leadership and look forward to seeing what the association has planned in the future. To deliver remarks on behalf of the government of the Republic of the Marshall Islands, I now call upon Her Excellency, Madam Ambassador Angela Kattil, to deliver her keynote remarks.
Thank you, Olivia. Her Excellency Andrea Bowman, Ambassador of St. Vincent and Grenadines and Dean of the Diplomatic Corps. His Excellency Pinu, Ambassador of Tuvalu and Madam, His Excellency Doña Francis, Ambassador of St. Kitts and Nevis, His Excellency Lam, Ambassador of the Republic of Guatemala, Monsignor Stefano Mossadi, Charge d'Affaires of the Holy See, His Excellency Ambassador Rose Lingo, former Ambassador of the Republic of China, Taiwan, to the Marshall Islands, and a very good friend of the Marshall Islands. Honorable Adel El-Dai, representative of the Saudi Arabian office, colleagues from the Council of Indigenous People, representatives from the media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and a special recognition to the students. Ooh. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit emotional. I am honored to be able to say a few words this morning on behalf of President Hilda Sihaini and the government and the people of the Marshall Islands. I convey warmest greetings of Yahweh from the traditional leaders, the government, and the Marshallese people, and express our deepest gratitude to all of you for gracing us with your presence this morning as we commemorate this important yet painful anniversary. Each year on March 1st, the people of the Marshall Islands observe this solemn occasion as a testament to our collective resilience in facing the ongoing challenges stemming from the activities of the U.S. government on our islands during the Cold War. The embassy and the students felt strongly that we should convene this event here in Taiwan this year to remember and pay tribute to our people who were subjected to and were victims of the nuclear testing conducted in our islands, as well as to honor those who continue to endure the painful consequences of nuclear legacy. Additionally, we hope to use this opportunity of our Nuclear Victims Remembrance Day to promote awareness about this largely unspoken and untold part of our history and the contributions made by the Marshallese people for the sake of world peace. This year is especially important as it marks 70 years since March 1st, 1954, when the United States detonated its most destructive nuclear weapon, known as Castle Bravo, at Bikini Atoll in the Marshall Islands. With a total yield equivalent to 15 megatons, the Castle Bravo was 1,000 times more powerful than the bombs detonated in Hiroshima and Nagasaki together. As a result of the blast, the radioactive fallout contaminated more than 7,000 square miles of the surrounding Pacific Ocean, leaving behind a profound legacy of enduring and painful challenges. From 1946 to 1958, the Marshall Islands was used as a designated testing ground for the United States nuclear weapons testing program. For a period of 12 years, the United States tested a total of 67 known devices that have left a staggering array of challenges to this day, nearly 8 decades later. If one was to measure the power of all of these tests, it would equate to 1.6 Hiroshima bombs every day for 12 years. Just think about that. In 1947, the United Nations established the Trust Territory of the Pacific Islands, and the United States became the Trusteeship Administering Authority. Among many of its obligations under the trusteeship, the United States was supposed to, and I quote, protect the inhabitants against the loss of their lands and resources, and to protect the rights and fundamental freedoms of all elements of the population without discrimination, and to protect the health of the inhabitants, end quote. Bearing this in mind, and in the immediate aftermath of Castle Bravo, the Marshallese people turned to the United Nations Trusteeship Council and petitioned for the cessation of nuclear weapons tests. And I'd like to read to you a part of that petition. In view of increasing danger from the experiments with deadly explosives, thousands of times more powerful than anything previously known to man, the lethal effects of which have already touched the inhabitants of two of the atolls in the Marshall Islands, namely Rongelap and Woodruff, who are now suffering in various degrees from lowering of blood count, burns, nausea, falling off of air from the head, and whose complete recovery no one can promise with any certainty. We, the Marshallese people, feel that we must follow the dictates of our conscience to bring forth this urgent plea to the United Nations, which has pledged itself to safeguard the life, liberty, and the general well-being of the people of the Trust Territory, of which the Marshallese people are a part. The Marshallese people are not only fearful of the danger to their person from these deadly weapons in case of another miscalculation, but they are also very concerned for the increasing number of people who are being removed from their land. Land means a great deal to Marshallese. It means more than just a place where you can plant your food crops and build your houses, or a place where you can bury your dead. It is the very life of the people. Take away their land, and their spirits go also. When the petition was considered by the UN Trusteeship Council in July of 1954, a resolution to recommend that the nuclear testing be discontinued was defeated. Another resolution, which would have sought an advisory opinion from the International Court of Justice, was also defeated, and as such, the tests continued all the way up until 1958. Moreover, in an attempt to decontaminate the environment, highly contaminated radioactive topsoil from many parts of Eniwetok Atoll and other islands in the Marshall Islands, including contaminated soil all the way from the Nevada testing site, were dumped in a crater on Ruined Island and covered up with a concrete cap. This nuclear waste storage facility is best known as the Ruined Dome, or to us, the tomb. There are ongoing concerns about the deterioration of waste and possible radioactive leaks due to the effects of climate change. This concrete dome has weathered, as evidenced by structural cracking, and according to a report by the U.S. Department of Energy in 2013, the soil and lagoon surrounding the structure was found to be more contaminated than its contents. As a result of the testing, our people have endured and continue to suffer from many health challenges, including cancers, birth defects, and various other diseases related to radiation exposure. Every Marshallese, every single one of the students here, has relatives who have suffered from the illnesses related to the nuclear testing, myself included. My mother died at a comparatively young age due to nuclear-related cancer. I too had to undergo off-island medical treatments several years ago, owing to the same nuclear-related illness. Furthermore, the assurances given to our people that the testing was for the good of mankind, quote unquote, disregarded our humanity and our fundamental right to clean and sustainable environment, disturbing our health, food sources, and our culture. Today, the Marshallese people draw upon this history, including the devastating impacts of climate change in our islands, to advocate for change. Our voices carry weight because we have a story to tell, and through our awareness and advocacy, we strive to make a difference. Our motto chosen for this year's commemoration, Ama Meorukich, embodies the wisdom passed down by our ancestors, which still resonates strongly with our people today. It signifies that when faced with hardships and left in a state of quandary about how to proceed, we look deep down within ourselves to find a collective resolve and solutions that move us toward a different future. As descendants of our brave ancestors who fought for nuclear justice, we continue their legacy by working with our partners to advocate for nuclear justice for our people and the global disarmament of nuclear weapons for a healthier and more peaceful world for everyone. Our people and country hope that no other nation experiences the suffering we live with. On this occasion, I take this opportunity to renew our commitment to working closely with our close friends and allies, such as the United States of America, the Republic of China, Taiwan, and other like-minded countries, many of whom are present here today, as well as the regional and international organizations, such as the Pacific Island Forum and the United Nations, just to name a few, to ensure a future that is safe and secure. And in closing my remarks, may I ask that we observe a 1-minute moment of silence in honor of all the victims, survivors, and their family members who suffered and continue to suffer as a consequence of the nuclear testing. Once again, thank you all for joining us as we commemorate the solemn anniversary. Shishini.
Kumultada, Madam Ambassador, for that powerful message and insight on how the nuclear legacy affects us to this day. In Marshallese custom, it is common for us to preserve our stories and memories of home through song. Moreover, as you have heard from the speeches, Marshallese people are deeply connected to our land. Prior to the detonation of the Kattil Bravo shot, the U.S. military evacuated the people of Bikini from their island with the promise of being returned, quote unquote, soon. Bikini Atoll, surrounded by beautiful, clear blue water and white sand beaches, ancestral home to the Marshallese people of Bikini, to this day remain uninhabitable, leaving the Bikinians to live in exile, all the while longing for the day that they can finally return to their homeland. The lyrics to the Bikini National Anthem, composed by a Bikinian traditional leader, poignantly expresses these sentiments of longing and anguish. And to sing the national anthem of the people of Bikini, I will now call upon our very own students, Tui, JR, Siamang, and Claude.
Iunigun
We will now do a showing of an eye-opening 85-minute documentary titled Nuclear Savage, The Islands of Secret Project 4.1. Created in 2011 by an American journalist by the name Adam Jonas Horowitz. This heartbreaking expose details the nuclear testing period and the ensuing struggle for survival that sadly still continues to this day.
I had always dreamed of the South Pacific. I had read stories like Robinson Crusoe, Moby Dick, and Mutiny on the Bounty. Classic stories about white Europeans who, by getting lost in the South Seas, had learned something about themselves and the world from which they came. My love affair with the Pacific began as a child, with art and books, and with movies and television. I had bought into the classic myth about the white man in the tropics, bringing progress and civilization. I wanted to live in the exotic postmodern world of Hawaii Five-0, or better yet, to go back in time, to follow in the footsteps of Captain Cook.
Pretty close anyway.
Since 1960, the so-called Reagan test site has been at the forefront of America's experimental ballistic missile defense program, also known as Star Wars. Kwajalein was once home to a population of native Marshall Islanders who had lived a traditional life here for centuries. The islands were first colonized by missionaries in the 1800s who sought to transform a rich and ancient culture into a Western mold. The military tested nuclear bombs here and conducted secret human radiation experiments on defenseless islanders. Many of the survivors wished there was a way to turn back time, as if the bombs had never happened. But of course, this kind of thinking is the stuff of fantasy. From native wisdom to the horrors of the nuclear age, the story of these islands is in many ways a microcosm of what...
Now, may I kindly ask the musicians back onto the stage? We are going to be singing our old national anthem, Yawayo. Can my fellow Marshallese please stand where you guys are seated? Thank you. The official opening program has now come to an end. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the partners and sponsors who through their generosity and support made this event possible. Council of Indigenous Peoples of the Republic of China, Taiwan. Tamkang University. And the Taiwan Digital Diplomacy Association. Komoltada, from the bottom of our hearts, I wish to also thank Her Excellency Ambassador Kattil and the staff of the embassy for their continuous guidance and mentorship to the Marshallese Students Association. Thank you very much to all our esteemed guests for joining us on this day to commemorate and honor those who bore and continue to bear the consequences of the nuclear testing conducted in the RMI for the sake of world peace and to end all world wars. I am proud to declare the Marshall Islands Nuclear Legacy Photo Exhibition hereby opened. To mark the launch of this exhibit, if I may once again call on our musicians to perform another Marshallese song, as we invite our guests to please take a tour of the photo gallery just outside this music hall. The photo exhibition is now officially launched. Thank you.
So now we have to go outside and look at the pictures. So we've seen the presentation. We had a speech from the ambassador to the Marshall Islands, Ambassador Kattil, and we even saw a film about how this has happened and what did happen. So you can see behind me, this is one of the people we learned about in the film, and he was told that it was going to be very safe to return to the island, and all of his family had cancer-related diseases. So these are all pictures of either people that have suffered from the radioactive fallout from these tests. There were 67 tests on Bikini Atoll, and then it also is where they are keeping some waste materials are being held in this dome, and it's also supposedly to last for 1,000 years, and it's already having cracks and leaks in it. So we have the ambassador to Tuvalu is here, ambassador to St. Kitts and Nevis, ambassador to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the ambassador to the Vatican, the representative to Saudi Arabia, and they're all here to see this photo display. So it's more pictures of birth defects. They had children that were known as jellyfish babies because they would have no limbs or no muscles, and you can see photos of that. I'm actually wearing a necklace that the Ambassador Kattil gifted to me when I did an interview in her embassy and did a tour, and she gifted me this, so I'm very proud to wear this today. So you can see here some pictures. So they were talking about an ash that came after the main bomb. The wind had blown, apparently it was an accident, and the wind had blown into some other islands. Some examples of the ash burn from that. Here is the handicraft that we learned about when we did the embassy tour with Ambassador Kattil. So these are all the weaving, and also with the shell. Hi, it's Michael, and I'm here with Dexter Johnny, who is the president of the Marshall Islands Student Association here in Taiwan. Dexter, nice to meet you.
Thank you.
And it was a very powerful presentation. I did know some of it. We do here, I'm from Canada, we learn about nuclear testing in Bikini Atoll, but we don't learn so much. It was very detailed. So behind me is the exhibition of, a lot of these are stills from the film, okay? And how long is this show open for?
So our exhibition goes until 4 p.m. today.
Okay.
We're welcoming everyone to come talk to students from our association. If you want to learn more about our interpretation of our nuclear legacy and how it affects us to this day.
And that was what's so interesting, because I am quite friendly with Ambassador Kattil, but I wasn't aware that her mother passed away from cancer due to radiation, and herself, she also had some cancer issues as well from this. So it really is ongoing. Yes. And the movie was just so powerful. So it's called
The Nuclear Savage, the secret projects, the secret experiments, like Project 421. It's quite a lengthy title.
And it's by
Adam Horowitz.
Okay.
It's more of like an indie film that you can find online.
Okay, so we'll try to do a link to that because it was quite powerful and just showing how, you know, he's going to these islands, and the main story of it is they were going to do the testing, the bomb, and it's called Delta? Casa Bravo, yes. And it dropped on Bikini Atoll, but the wind changed or something, so it was making it go to the other...
Yes, it was carrying it towards different atolls.
Right. But what we've learned is that the U.S. Army did know about the weather. Yeah, and so it kind of just let it happen. And, it was...
Yes, it's very heart-wrenching.
Yes, it's very powerful. And so yourself, I don't know a lot about it. When I did tour the embassy, I did learn a lot about the Marshall Islands and the setup of it. So it's almost like a
two chains of islands.
Yes, that's what she was saying.
So Bikini is towards the northwestern part of the country.
Okay.
But my family is from the most southern atolls.
Okay.
Although I'm not from those affected atolls, we're all connected to this legacy in some sort of way.
Yes, and then there's islands that you can no longer go to.
Right. Like to this day, you cannot visit them, or you can't live on them, or live a life because the radiation is so quite high.
And so the island that was kind of in the wind path, the locals were living there
for 2 days after the castle got shattered.
Yes, and then they were evacuated, and then they were brought back and said that it was safe, but then it continued with all of these health issues and birth defects, and then it was finally Greenpeace. They asked the U.S. government, but Greenpeace actually evacuated them. And what was interesting when we met with Ambassador Kattil was how important land is to your people.
Very important in our culture. Like, everyone is connected to a piece of land.
Yes.
Like you can't, like to this day, you can't really buy land. You have to lease it or like earn the title from like another family.
Right, or a tribe.
Right.
And what was so interesting that I learned from Ambassador Kattil was that there's so many Marshallese living in, is it Arkansas?
Yes, I actually grew up in Arkansas. Like my family is living there now.
Right.
Yes, but I also lived in Hawaii and also in Marshall for a couple of years.
Okay. So we were speaking to Ambassador Kattil. I understand Hawaii and I understand California,
yes.
But this whole Arkansas move.
We're quite a big community.
Yes.
Right in the middle of like the U.S.
Yeah, but it's so different from what.
So different from what we're used to on the West Coast or even Hawaii. Because Marshallese, we like to go where other Marshallese are.
Yes.
So through like word of mouth, some history about families going there,
right.
Like availability of jobs and like the chicken industry there.
Yes.
So it was easy for people from the Marshalls to go to the U.S. to
right.
COFA, right?
Yes.
So like going there, it was like as a way to get a better job in a sense.
But they shouldn't have to. So I think you've got to go take a photo, Dexter, but thank you so much for your time, and we'll be in touch, and they can look for this film. Take your photo. See everyone wearing the
You have everyone?
Hi, it's Michael, and I'm back with Ambassador Kattil, who is the ambassador to the Marshall Islands. Ambassador, wonderful to see you again. Thank you so much for inviting me to such an important event. We were just discussing that it's a quite powerful film, and I was talking to Dexter, the president of the Sin Association, and I did know some of the history, but there's so much in this film. So this event with the exhibition is today. So we did film it, you can see it, but if you'd like to get more information. Okay. Okay.
But we'll be putting out a press release on today's event, and I'll share all the information. I do encourage everyone to learn about the legacy of the Marshall Islands.
Yes, and also if they do get a chance to see this film, and it's called Nuclear Savage.
Yes, by Adam Horowitz.
Well, and I don't want to say too much about the film because we do want to encourage people to see it, but it was quite shocking, even the language and the behavior and everything. Very powerful. Your speech was wonderful and beautiful.
Oh goodness, I'm sorry, I was simply emotional. You know, I'm usually really good about keeping my composure, but when it comes to this issue, because it comes right to the heart of it.
You were saying it affected your mother, it affected yourself.
Yeah, and it affected, you know, every single Marshallese you would have to know somebody from within their family.
Yes, and the photos are quite powerful with the birth defects and just again the language about, oh, it's safe, and I would live there, okay, well then go and live there. But well, it is important that we know about it, and
especially with what's happening around the world, and you know, wars breaking out, and countries
threats of using these weapons again.
I think it's important, and it's very timely to talk about the atrocities that have come with the use of nuclear weapons.
What can happen?
Not just on human lives, environment.
Yes.
And it's important that we come together and advocate for the disarmament and to rid nuclear for the safety.
Yes. And we already know what happened because this was 8 months after the bombs had dropped in Japan. So we knew what the destruction was. So it was kind of just a little bit showboating and this experimentation. Anyway, it was a wonderful film. It was very powerful. And I did learn a lot, and your student association did a wonderful job.
Yes, I encouraged them. I told them I'm going to let them take the lead on this and gave them the leeway to do this because I want them to take ownership of this because I tell them all the time, you need to learn about this and you need to start talking about it because we were the leaders who are going to have to fight for it.
Yes, continue
this, take out the time for your partners.
Yes.
I'm very proud of them. Yes. They were a little bit reluctant at first. It's important for us to share our story. Taiwan is an important ally. The countries that are associated, that are in attendance, and the United States. We consider the United States best friends and our largest partners.
Yes, it's a powerful.
In the case of Taiwan and my as friends, we tell our stories. We put them back. Unfortunately, this is the bad part of our history, but it's an important part. We are small, but we have a story to tell. Because we've gone through this. So we've got it's a moral authority for us to be able to speak out about it. And it's not meant to cause tension or arguments. It's just meant to tell our story in the hopes that people are aware and we realize the ugliness and the pain and the suffering that comes from
That it doesn't happen again. Well, we hope to be seeing you on a happier day, on your National Day, May 1st.
Yes.
And I was speaking to Dexter about that.
Yes. So it's May 1st is when there's a national day, but here we'll be commemorating the massacre.
Okay.
So I'll be sending out a message by then. We'll be doing it similar. The students will be involved.
Okay.
We hope to use that opportunity to showcase more.
Right.
Culture.
Right.
But it will be a lighter day.
Yes.
Today is the sound event. It's a day of remembrance, it's a sad sadness. But it's also a day that demonstrates that we are resilient people.
Yeah.
And we're resolute in our determination to rid the world of nuclear weapons because we do not wish this on anyone.
No.
Not even our enemies. We do not have no enemies.
No.
You know, we're enemy to none. But I personally do not wish this on anyone.
And you've got a great group of kids here that are studying. I'm going to have to look for something nice and bright to wear for your National Day because she always brings the color.
Yeah, I try to wear traditional clothes.
Yes, I need to work on that. But again, thank you
I
again.
hope I don't stand out in the odd one hour.
No, everyone's so dressed, especially the guys playing their musical instruments. But thanks for remembering me and the invitation.
And thank you for wanting to share our story.
Yes.
And wanting to learn more about us.
Yes, it's important.
We can collaborate more.
Yes, and our interview and our embassy tour has already gotten a lot of views. If you haven't seen that, that's when the ambassador gifted me this beautiful necklace. And yes, I wanted to wear it today. And so if you haven't seen that episode, check it out. And so March 1st, remember that it's Remembrance Day.
Nuclear Victims Remembrance.
Always on March 1st.
Always on March 1st.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, Ambassador. And we will see you on the next episode.
Que